Yeah, the very first case that I got involved in, like I said earlier, was my father's case. And he had what was called a home care policy. Home care policy essentially is a policy that provides people with benefits for, let me state it a different way. A home care policy is a policy that's designed to pay for an aide or an attendant to come into the home to provide what is called assistance with the activities of daily living. Those activities include bathing, dressing, feeding, walking, transferring from a sitting position to a standing position, and all of those types of things that we all take for granted. And so when my father went into assisted living, and the insurance company denied the claim, when I started getting into the law and reading all about assisted living and reading about these long-term care insurance policies, what I learned was that assisted living facilities are considered by Florida law to be an individual's home. So it just seemed to me it just seemed so logical to me that if the assisted living facility is my father's home and he has a home care policy, then how could the policy not be paying for the care he receives there? That was as simple as I looked at it, as simply as I looked at it. And I built the case around the simplicity of that concept, and of course it worked as it should have. Assisted living facilities are important. They're not for everyone, but they are very important because there are people who are not totally independent, and you have people who are not totally dependent. So the people who are totally dependent wind up in nursing homes and things that, in facilities or institutions like that. People who are not totally independent need help. So they can get help in their apartment or their house, or they can enter an assisted living facility that takes care of a lot of the things that people have to do for themselves when they're living in a house or an apartment. The assisted living facilities provide cooking. They cook and they provide meals. They have supervision. They assist with activities of daily living, which is obviously the significant part of my father's claim. There's also companionship. There's a community of people there so that people aren't lonely and alone. And they also have activities, extracurricular activities, all the different things that someone may not be able to get if they're just living at home and they have needs. So I believe that the policies that people bought many years ago that are called home care policies should be able to afford individuals the option of moving out of their house or apartment and into a place like assisted living. And the policy should be working for them. And we've been successful in applying, as in my father's case, applying a home care policy to the care portion of the assisted living fees. And most recently, in the last 3 or 4 weeks, we got a decision out of the United States federal court involving exactly that issue. And it was a very nice 8 or 9 page order that was issued by the judge in that case, essentially saying that assisted living facilities are a person's home, and home care policies do apply, or should apply. Now, not every policy is the same, and I'm not suggesting every single policy is going to work that way. But it opens up the door for what I believe to be the vast majority of home care policies to be applied in assisted living. So it affords people the option of moving if they want to. They're not stuck staying at home or in an apartment. And what I have found is, I have found that a lot of people actually inquired about assisted living. And when someone without the understanding of how to read the policies, who read the policy, and or called the insurance company and asked whether the policy would cover assisted living, they were told that it doesn't. So they either stayed where they were, and obviously not comfortable where they were or where they are, because they're inquiring about how to get out of that and into something else, or they gave up their policies and went into assisted living anyways. So, we've been able to get dozens of people placed into assisted living and have their policies pay for part of it, because the policies don't pay for food and rent, but they do pay for care. So we've been able to get a substantial portion of the assisted living facility fees paid for by insurers of home health care policies.